Okay, so you have a block wall with moisture issues. This is something we can help with, isn't it, Doug? Do you want to run through why block walls are inherently hard to waterproof?
Yeah, sure thing. So firstly, I guess if we start with the concrete block itself, they're naturally a very porous material, so they've got a low cement content, which makes them lightweight, they're easy to handle. The next point is that they're not solid, so they've got hollow voids in them. And I guess lastly is that when they're installed as a wall in a building, there's a mortar join between every single edge surface of the block. So effectively what this means is that every 200 mil there's another construction joint, and you got a good way of putting it there, Marty, about the hardest thing about concrete is to waterproof the joins.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then you get, most New Zealand conditions, anywhere you get subsidence or an earthquake, it's the mortar lines that hairline fracture. So if your structure's slightly older, it would have been through a number of earthquakes, you're bound to have had some sort of hairline fractures go through it. These aren't visible to the eye, but it's just the way the nature of a brick block wall. In saying that, we do have a product that we have a lot of success with, the Aquron 3000. Do you want to run through how we go about putting that on?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, so this is a spray applied product that penetrates into the concrete block wall and works in those porosities and voids in the concrete to form a gel, which blocks up, I guess is a good way, or locks up that moisture from moving through the concrete block. Now, obviously in normal concrete there's a lot less voids, so there's a lot less voids to fill. In concrete block there's a lot more, and we need to put a lot more product on, and I guess that's where it comes back to. We have had a lot of success, but there's some cases where it's just whatever you throw at it doesn't seem to work, and you need to go to a further step to waterproof that wall. So obviously that deals with the concrete itself. The product's called Aquron 3000. You buy it in a 20 litre pail and put it through a garden knapsack sprayer, and it's applied in a number of light wet on wet coats. So it's a fairly quick and easy application. But yeah, is that?
Yeah, so just around the application, so what you need to do, you've got a block wall, so it's in a garage studio. We're not advocating removing the membrane on the external side, but this is talking from inside out. You need access to the concrete itself, the concrete block wall. So if it's been painted previously, the paint will need to be removed. The Aquron 3000 needs access to the porosities of the concrete, so any adhesives, any previous linings, paintings, they'll need to come off. Once you've got a clean bare concrete wall, you just fill up a knapsack sprayer and you go over it and saturating it in a number of light coats until you've used up the required litres per square metre, which will be in the tech sheet that comes with your 20 litre of product.
Yeah, and I guess the other area is that if there is some joints or cracks through the concrete block that are leaking, most of the time you will have to deal with that separately. So the Aquron 3000 will deal with up to a certain point, and it can actually tend to highlight those weak points where the moisture's coming through. So I guess don't be alarmed if that when you spray out the wall it actually appears like there's more moisture coming through. What it's actually doing is just highlighting the path of least resistance for that moisture, and the areas that you need to address separately with a joint sealant or fast rock mortar system or something like that. Do you want to say a couple things about where we wouldn't use this, the Aquron 3000?
Yeah, sure. So it's not something that we would advocate in a new build to weatherproof a block home. So say you wanted architecturally to put up a single block wall, use it as your external and interior finish, and then use the Aquron 3000 as the weatherproofing. This wouldn't meet code, and for the reasons we described around block walls being hard to waterproof, it's not a good idea. So we wouldn't offer any warranties. It's a product we've had good success with. Like Doug said, it won't fix water that's like flowing through a crack. What it does do is it fixes damp spots, you know, where your paint may be blistering, your concrete's damp to touch, you know, looks wet, that kind of thing. It'll dry your concrete wall up, but if you've got visible moisture flow, then you're looking at a secondary option as well.
Saving the world, one concrete structure at a time. Markham, adding life to concrete.